How's it going, everyone? It's me, Vivi, and welcome back to some Sly Cooper. So over on the Sly Reddit, a user who goes by the name Sun_Pencil made some cool discoveries on Sly 1 overall from what I've seen. They're all archived. Now, did you know about this? Sly's logo was part of a marketing campaign in Japan a long time ago. Let's check it out. This is what the page looks like, what Sun_Pencil discovered. PlayStation 2, Sly Cooper the Thief. Brief. In a competitive software market, though the sales volume has been hanging low, the media team required to catch consumers' attention, with tight budget, and so to establish a way of communication to raise the sales volume and brand images. Solution: the very idea that the protagonist of the game, Phantom Thief, was efficiently adapted to this advertising campaign, and he actually steals products from posters. With a collaboration of highly conservative yet highly influential clients, we only adopted station used posters for it. It is a reality that consumer can easily accept in order to acquire the best result. Now, I'm not going to read the whole thing. This is actually pretty cool. Now, about that Phantom Thief part, for those of you who are not familiar with that term, well, it's Sly Cooper directly translated from Sly Cooper Therius Raccoonus in Japan. Kaito Sly Cooper translates to the Phantom Thief. Next thing, the Evolution of Sly Cooper. You can find this on an archived page. This was part of the Game Developers Conference back in 2003 in Japan. Now, looking at these three images, they're very, very blurry, but looking at the paragraph on the left, which is like a very rough translation using Google Translate, their initial idea of Sly Cooper in Japan was to raise the target age. Back in the day, some series out there like Crash Bandicoot, Spyro the Dragon, they had alterations, not only cosmetically, but when it comes to mechanics as well. But looking at this one, apparently they really wanted to alter Sly Cooper. Just looking at the designs, the one on the left, although blurry, it seems like he was wearing pants. As for the other two, they removed the pants. The one on the left is pretty intriguing, like that. Is that a face tattoo? Is that a cape in the back? His cane looked different, but really we can't see much. As for the alterations in the Japanese version, I don't recall any major noticeable differences, apart from, of course, the art style on the cover and stuff like that. Those changes were notorious in Japan. Even today, the Insane Trilogy, Crash on the cover looks different, cosmetically different. Next, here's concept art by Hokey Olam. He was a key part in creating art for 1, 2, and 3 when he used to work with Sucker Punch. He was known for, by the way, creating original art for League of Legends, which turned out huge. Now, this guy's website is down. Looking it up right now, it's archived, but the page is blank. I guess in 2015, Sun_Pencil got the chance to save this picture, but now you can't really find anything other than the names of titles he was involved in. This is something I've never seen before. Perhaps the same goes for you. Thank you, Sun_Pencil, for this. It is awesome. As someone pointed out on Reddit, this is great to frame. I mean, look at it. It looks so nice. The Carmelita chase. Sly in this one has a very Japanese look, reminiscent to like his the Japanese secret ending we got. Just looking at this, the colors and tone, it represented something much, much darker. Perhaps this is what Japan had in mind originally to raise the target age. The same user also discovered early test footage of Sly 1 by Johnson, lead animator at Sucker Punch, back in 1998. If you want to check it out, the link will be in the description below. Now, these two is something you've probably seen. Early concept of Sly, he looks younger. You can notice how he was playing around. Well, I'm not sure if this was done by Hokey Olam, but anywho, you can notice how whoever drew this were playing around with the lighting, the fur, the eyes, even the bag color. The Sly van, this was the original idea. Lighter, brighter colors. And the back getting extended, like a trailer, that's pretty cool. But I much prefer the cleaner, simple design we got in the finished product. But that extended part in the back, that is cool. If Bentley was able to upgrade their van, and make it into a time machine, for sure he can upgrade the van that way. But doing so will require the team to really hide the van this time. Well, we did have like the van sticking out from their parking. I'm like scratching my head here. How come none of the villains' guards ever noticed the car parked right there with the Sly logo on it? Next, same user also discovered old promotional trailers for Sly 3. One goes for Sly, the other for Murray, and the other, of course, for Bentley. The first one is these young kids playing football. Another one shows up out of nowhere, covered in grass, and then transitions to Sly, magically turns into Sly. And check mark, stealth. That $sign wasn't used. And his face is early prototype, for sure. The other video. A friend pushes this one guy on the swing, and gets launched like someone in Scary Movie. I don't know if you've watched those movies, but someone getting hit by a car or something, they just fly away in the air like it's nothing. And you've guessed it right, this one is for Murray. Muscle. The third one. Bike. Obviously it's Bentley. The brains. Anyways, when it comes to trailers like these, there's a ton. If you type it in Google or YouTube or whatever, you're gonna see a bunch of old-fashioned commercials. Okay, the most interesting art Sun_Pencil found is this one. It really got me curious. Like, either this was drawn for fun, you know, imagination, or they were really aiming for something much darker originally. Something straight out of Tim Burton just looking at this. Completely dark, black and white. I mean, it clearly says Sly Cooper at the bottom right. Sly looked shorter and chubbier. Those white eyes in the background gives off this creepy factor. Kinda reminds me of like Rocket Raccoon just looking at his shorter physique. Sly looks to be surrounded by a forest. If you look at the right and the left, those do look like trees. With a bunch of lightning bugs, or fireflies, whatever you want to call them. Those are huge lightning bugs, by the way. I mean, I could be wrong, they could be something else, but you know. Now those pointy things sticking out, are those waves? It'd be a funny shape for a wave, right? Sure, it's in slow-mo or something like that, you might say, but still, the shapes, they're pretty funny. What I'm looking at right now, I'm gonna go on ahead and say this was simply a source of inspiration. The dude sat down and just decided to draw everything, and kinda think about the character a bit. Light and darkness is sort of the theme going on in this picture. What the character is going through. Perhaps something we haven't seen before, as I've said in the past. I do not know what initial idea he was given when drawing this. But as I just said, this could have just been him being inspired. Nothing to do with the project. I mean, this is Sly. A kid growing up without his parents, he saw it. He saw his parents get killed. That could equal the darkness we notice in this picture. There is always light in the deepest darkness, hence the fireflies, symbolizing hope, which would be his friends, Bentley and Murray. The shapes, however, looking at the horns again, there's some consistency. What could the thorns, let's go with thorns, it could be anything. I'm gonna go on ahead and say they symbolize internal pain and conflict. What Sly is, you know, going through, but doesn't wanna be open about it. That's one thing I've noticed about this character in this series. He's been through a lot, and yet he's never actually broken down. Yes, he was frustrated a couple of times, but an emotional side of Sly is something we've never seen. The forest could represent Sly being by himself, no civilization whatsoever, quietness. He enters this location, being the forest, where he has to face himself. He's the only one in the forest. But, as I said, I love to overanalyze sometimes, okay? We do not know what this is. I'm gonna say it's inspiration. And his inspiration was probably like, hey, Sly Cooper is a character which I believe has some internal conflict, which is something the team really didn't dive in, but this is something the artist had in mind. Kind of reminds me of what I said in the previous video talking about the TV show, how a storyboard artist feels like they can also express what the show is all about. The same example could apply here. The artist drew this to represent what Sly goes through, if you understand what I mean. Oh, I forgot to bring up Clockwork, of course. Those thorns could represent an enemy which has been part of his family, while haunting his family for centuries. That could explain like the pointy shapes in the darkness. Far away in the darkness, if you look at it. But anyways, I think I've said enough. As I said in the beginning, thank you Sun_Pencil for finding these things. I'm sure a lot of you haven't seen these before, until today. So yep, as usual, do your stuff, leave your comments in the comment section below, and as always, I've been Vivi, and thank you so much for watching.